Hello, everyone. My name is Chrissy Smith, and this is Nine Lives Energy and the Other We Energize Your Body from the Inside Out. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you would like a more personalized reading, make sure that you hit me up in the description box below. My contact information is there, and you can schedule an appointment. I am going out of town and doing something Aquarian like this weekend, so I am pre-recording this video, but I'm doing it pretty early on a Friday morning before the full moon because I wanted to get this information out there for people that are following me and kind of want to know how this is going to be impacting them most personally. So when you are listening for this astrological report, please make sure that you listen for your rising sign. You want to know what your rising sign is? You want to go to astro-seek.com. Put in your birth chart information. It'll tell you what your moon sign is. It'll tell you what your sun sign is. Obviously, we know that. And your rising sign. And that is how I do this astrological report, is based upon your rising sign. But if you don't know that, you can certainly listen for your sun sign. But if you would like to know how it would affect you more personally, then you would want to listen for your rising sign. So what does Aquarius control? Aquarius is we the people, weird and unusual, the collective, service to humanity, UFOs, astrology, and right now one of our outer planets, Pluto, has just ingressed into Aquarius, and he will be there for the next 20 years. So we just finished up Pluto and having a death and rebirth of a lot of our structures over the last 15 years or so. And now that we have had some of that change, now it's time to think about how we want to implement new change and how we want to serve the collective, not just from our ego's perspective and what brings us money or accolades or fame, but what are our gifts and talents and how are we using those in order to not only live from our heart and have more happiness in our life, but also how are we able to give to everybody else so that we don't be living from that ego place. And I find that when I tap into the things that I love the most, that is when I end up having the most happiness in my life. So making sure that you're taking time out to detach if you need to, so you can kind of rebalance your energy. I will say that because of a lot of the planets being in fire and air signs right now, things can be moving really quick, or we can feel like we don't have control of our mind. So if you're having a lot of thoughts and things like that, a good astrological remedy for everybody is to make sure that we are getting outside in nature and breathing in the air. Aquarius is an air sign, not a water sign, even though it kind of looks like water, right? With the little up and down waves. But Aquarius also rules UFOs. And if we look at what's in the news right now, we have the 3-eye atlas that has been spotted. And the last time I checked, it looks like this big bar. And it doesn't look like a shooting star or a comet. And I think I found out yesterday, the last time I heard, it doesn't have a tail. So astronomers and astrologers are kind of still perplexed about what this might be. So whatever it is, I'm hoping and believing that it is good energy, and hopefully it will bring humanity together. So let's go over some of these themes for this Aquarius full moon. Now, when we look up at the sky, this is where it is going to be. If you look in the 8th house, the 8th house is where we are going to be having the full moon in this particular chart. So even though it is at 16 degrees and 59 minutes, we're going to round up to 17. And I put 17 here to make sure that it was also going to be 17 opposing the sun, because 17 is a Leo degree, and Leo is the opposite sign of Aquarius. And so when we think about Leo, Leo is fun and entertainment. And how can we be fun and entertaining in order to have a good time this weekend on the full moon? The full moon, even though it could be releasing a lot of egoic type mindsets, you can probably see, I'm going through this as well, some changes where we felt like our ego may have gotten the best of us, and maybe whatever we were doing to earn money, that wasn't where our heart needed to be. And so there could be some endings of relationships, whether it's in a marriage or whether it's with a job or whether it's with a relationship that maybe you had with yourself. And, this is what we are stepping into. We need to let some of these things go that no longer serve so we can be more of service. And, if a lot of our structures had challenges over the last 5 years, I would say, after 2020. And I think that was the last little axe, for a lack of a better word, to kind of distance us from the things that maybe we were doing before that were not in alignment for us. You can possibly feel like you have this new thing over here that you want to be doing, but you have to close out some of these old things that we're doing now. And as we do that, we want to make sure that we're stepping more authentically into what we value. Because if we don't value the thing that we're doing to earn money, or the thing that we're doing to, be entertained. How many of us are entertained by some of these celebrities, and maybe those people had that fame and that fortune from an egoic standpoint? So maybe releasing some of these people that we used to follow and stepping more into following people that are living more authentically through their heart, or people that are doing things in order to make a difference, not just doing things in order to make money. I will say that for this particular transit, because there's so much fire and air, it probably is a good idea to maybe write down or speak out what you want to release, and then to burn that on a piece of paper, or to light a candle as you let go of what no longer serves. The first transit that I want to talk about that's going to be affecting the collective is this Mars, Uranus, and Pluto. So it's letting go of all these things so that new things can come in. So there is a trine here between Uranus and Mars and Pluto. And so Uranus is about change and we the people, quick shocks and surprises. And Pluto is about death and rebirth. So there could be some death and rebirth type things that are happening in our lives that we need to cut out, because Mars is the cutting out. And we need to cut some of these things out so we can be in more harmony for what we came here to do. Some of these things maybe could be around the home, or the things that we identified with our foundation. So if our foundation is a little bit shaky, how are we going to be able to kind of balance that out? Mercury and Pluto. All right. Mercury is in retrograde right now. So anytime that this planet goes into retrograde, now it usually happens about 3 times a year, and it lasts for 2 weeks. But there could be a shadow period, meaning that these energies can be felt before the retrograde and after the retrograde. And it affects our communication. It affects our day-to-day. It affects our mind. Mercury is very quick energy, and it is one of the closest planets other than the moon about how we show up in the world and our personality. So it controls a lot of things. So whenever it's in retrograde, that is a good time for us to review all of the revisit, reorganize, not jump on that thing that we want to do. Maybe we have to tidy up some loose ends. And so in order for us to move forward, are we holding on things that we need to let go? And why are we holding on to those things? Saturn and Neptune are also in retrograde, and those are outer planets. And so there could be a retrograde for the collective. These two planets are at a critical degree in Aries, and some of these astrological transits have not been seen for a very long time. And so there could be kind of like a review of who am I? What do I want to be? And am I living authentically in that? Because if I'm not, that's going to be, cut out of the way. There could be a revisit of something that maybe you wanted to do. And now is a good time to kind of, spice up some of those things behind the scenes so that when you do launch that thing in September, November next year, these are things that maybe possibly that you were thinking about doing in January. And then maybe some things have happened that you needed to put your focus on. And so now we're revisiting where the new moon was in Aquarius, and we are seeing where we can have some of those changes in our life and try to see, where were you 6 months ago? How much have you done? Review some of that progress, because sometimes if we don't review it, then we think we're not doing anything and we're stagnant. And that simply is not true. We have Pluto here, Uranus, and Saturn and Neptune. I feel like you are getting divine support from the universe. Mars is our identity. It is our self. And that is at the bottom of what we call this kite. And so I feel like we are getting divine support. So we're getting divine support in positive aspects. There's no bad aspects from Pluto and Uranus, right? And they are in a positive aspect to the self, giving you divine support from the universe, from God, in order to do what it is that you came here to do, because you've got these two other outer planets that are in sextile to Uranus and to Pluto. So they are uplifting you like the kite. So if this is you at the bottom and you're holding on to the kite, right? It doesn't feel fun. Sometimes these two malefic planets, Saturn and Mars, are opposing each other. But even though they're opposing each other, it's like we're trying to uplift you out of what was so that you can be placed to what is going to be in the future. So I feel like you are getting divine support. Not to mention, you have Jupiter and Venus over here, these two benefic planets. So these are malefic, which means they have challenges, but through those challenges, you can have rewards. But you are having blessings here to take a deeper look inside, maybe at your home, maybe in your emotions, and letting go of what maybe you used to do, because you are being uplifted now by the universe in order to take that stand, to do that thing, to be the innovator, to be the creator, to live from your heart. And I will tell you, the more you stay away or that you detach from what no longer serves, you are going to be able to have even more opportunities come in. I personally am going through one of these challenges now. I am in Aries. And so Aries and Libra have really been highlighted for the last, I would say, 2 years, especially with the eclipses being in their sign. And some of them have allowed us to have these epiphany moments, or to be projected into the right path, especially with the Aries, because you had on that eclipse, April 8th of 2024, you had the two benefic planets, Venus on one side and Jupiter on one side, that was given power to the sun in order for you to step into this. So personally, I am leaving a 30-year career in the fitness industry. And that's Mars, that's iron, right? Aries is the action, the leader, the warrior. I represent Aries, all right? But I also represent some adverse aspects of Aries, which is fast moving to the point where I don't listen. I want to do that thing, and I feel like, well, if I move faster or if I do more, I'll get there sooner. And that doesn't happen, right? Some of these changes are slow progresses. So it's important for us to see where we were 6 months ago, where we are now in that new thing that we're trying to create. And so I identified with this for a very long time. And in 2020, the gyms got shut down. And I had an identity crisis. I was like, who was I going to be? And so after about running for office, I did that. That's very Leo-like and very Aries-like leadership. I decided that that's not what I wanted to do. So I had some challenges with who I wanted to be next. And after looking at astrology and seeing that I have some of these aspects that would make me a good astrologer, I was like, well, maybe this is what I need to step into so I can still do my fitness thing, my health, all that experience that I have in the health and fitness industry, and I can combine it with astrology and help people learn how to balance their energy, how to get back on track, where to focus their energy. So I'm going through some of these shifts too, folks. You are not alone. But I have found that astrology helps me. And by learning it, I have been able to balance my energy, figure out who I want to be next. And life has just gotten so much more magical. I've had new friends coming into my life as well. So it has, and some other things have closed out. But guess what? I feel more in alignment than I ever have. Now, all the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Excuse me. They are, you are experiencing this in the full moon in the air sign. Let me get some water real quick. Hold on one moment. Mercury in retrograde, right? And that has to do with thinking and speaking. So the fire signs are going to be experiencing this in the air. So fire and air, they work well together. Earth and water, they work well together. So it's important when we do have some of these astrological transits in another sign that we get that energy from that particular sign so that we can, element, not sign, so that we can actually move through some of these transits a little bit easier. If you are an earth sign, being outside would be of benefit to you. If you're an air sign, doing something with fire, maybe being around a fire, maybe being actionary in some of the things that you want to do. We have all these hopes, wishes, and dreams, but what are we doing in order to take action to make that happen? If you're a water sign, being around water, being in the home, maybe having emotional conversations would be good for you. And the fire signs, being in speaking, burning things, talking, communicating. I'm a fire sign. So a way that I'm dealing with this astrological transit is by speaking and creating something that I feel is of benefit for we the people. Aries is a fire sign, but Aquarius is an air sign. So working with technology is something that is helping me with this astrological transit. So a good remedy that I have found in order to work with air and fire together is to write down, because air is thinking, speaking, communicating, journaling. Write down what you want to release and burn it. Okay, send it out there into the universe, where you can speak it into existence and then take action toward it. Maybe you want to light a candle as you do this. Okay, so these are some astrological remedies that I would recommend for you. All right, moving on to our first zodiac sign, folks. So we have Aries. Aries, you are going to be experiencing this full moon in your 11th house. The 11th house is Aquarius, is we the people, is communication, UFOs. So it's important to maybe be around like-minded community, living from your heart instead of living from your ego. Well, I always do this thing when I create, so in order for me to be happy, I need to do this. Some of these creative endeavors maybe could be falling away so that you can step into being more authentic in yourself. This is a great time to be creative. It's a great time to volunteer your gifts and your talents. I'm going to this like-minded event this weekend and dancing out in the woods and listening to these DJs and camping. And I'm so excited about doing something new with like-minded community, because I've always gone to the nightclub. I've never gone out and just camped and heard music like that, except for at a big festival where there's like 80 to 1,000, 80 to 100,000 people there. I'm doing something different. Okay. This will be a good time to decrease your time on technology, and you focus on being around the people that are in front of you, spending time with those, spending time in the sun. The sun is electric and the moon is magnetic. So we want to make sure that we're balancing that out. You also could be experiencing creative downloads by being in the sun and hearing divine messages at this time. It's also a good time to be calling in relationships. So if you want a particular relationship, why don't we go into being in an environment that allows that to happen? If we want to quit, going to the bar and drinking something that's not serving us, then why are we going to the bar to meet people? Because that's only what you're going to find is more like-minded people in that same type of environment. So it's important to go where the people are, okay? And your people, the people that you want to be around, the people that are going to uplift you, that make you feel good, okay? All right, Aries, if you got something out of this, make sure that you like this video and comment below if this resonated with you. And if so, give me a follow. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please reach out to me in the description box below. My contact information is there. Thanks so much, Aries, and happy new moon, full moon in Aquarius. All right, Taurus. You are going to be having this full moon in the 10th house. So this is actually a earth house. And so there could be a letting go of an old career, or maybe a letting go of how you did things in your career, or how are we going to add more creativity to the career that we have? Okay. It's a good time to maybe think about, am I working too much? And do I need to be spending more time at home with my family? And am I having fun in my home? If you're not having fun in the home, and you don't have any peace, you need to be making some changes. So how could you feel more peaceful in your home? Or how could you have more fun in your home? Maybe we need to clean it. Maybe we need to be spending more time with our children in the home. It would be a good time for maybe you to do a project at the house, right? Doing something that maybe involves the family or the children. That would be fun. Again, there's lots of air and fire going on at the moment. So being in nature could be very helpful to you. I know that I have a lot of Taurus in my chart. And when I was going through some of my death and rebirth of identity, I went to the woods just on a whim. Something told me, like, go get out in the woods. And it was raining and it was misty. And I love being outside in the woods at that time because I feel like nobody else is out there and I could be alone. And with it raining and kind of dreary, it kind of helped me be able to deal with my emotions and cry while I was walking in the woods and release some of those emotions that I had pent up for so long and didn't even realize it because I was living too much from my ego. I was living too much from that Aries. So if you feel like that maybe this is resonating with you and that, maybe going out into the woods and doing something different, Taurus, because Taurus, you don't want to change. You like doing things the same way all the time. But you never know. You might like something different if you implement it at home, if you implement it at work, or if you make time to balance your energy by being outside and doing maybe a project outside in the home. That way you're getting the fire from the sun. You're getting the grounding by being outside. And you're also being able to maybe be at home. That's emotional. And also maybe doing something that's going to allow you to be more stable at work. Or stable in our emotions or in our foundations so that we can be ready for, all these astrological changes that could be going on. All right, Taurus, if you got something out of this, let me know. My information is in the description box below if you would like a more personalized reading. Give this video a like if you got something out of it, and comment below how you are doing during this full moon in Aquarius, Taurus. Thanks so much. All right, next up, we have Gemini. Now, Gemini, you are having this in a fire sign, and that is in the 9th house of higher learning, spirituality, traveling. So this also are beliefs. So there could be a releasing of old beliefs, releasing of maybe limiting beliefs. Are you the person who is holding yourself back? What kind of things are you saying to yourself? Are you the friend to yourself that you are to others? And if not, how are we going to change that? And, there could be some changes going on in how you want to be valued in the community. If you've had a recent job loss or career change, or maybe you're just being pushed that this job doesn't feel good, or this whatever doesn't feel good to me anymore. Why doesn't it? Is it bringing you down mentally? And maybe we need to let some of that go. This could be an excellent, excellent time, okay? Because you, my friend, have lucky ducky Jupiter and Venus in your 2nd house of resources, making money, abundance. So this would be an excellent time to think about, how do you value yourself? How do you love yourself, Gemini? Are we taking care of ourselves the way that we take care of others? Excuse me. Balance the electricity that's going on with all this Aquarius energy and the fire and the air. Get off of technology. That would be one of the best things for you to do. And to also breathe. Gemini's air, and we're having this in an air sign. And so breathing through some of these changes could help us. Writing down what it is. I said this in the beginning, but this definitely applies to you because you control writing and speaking and thinking and moving fast. So if something is kind of getting to you about how I don't know where to focus my energy, writing it down can help you get out of your mind, and you can check it off, or you can be like, well, I just answered my own question because I wrote this down. This could be a great way for you to kind of deal with maybe some of the emotions that you have going on about maybe where we didn't value ourselves, and how we are going to bring in more abundance into our life because we're letting that thing go. So manifestation works. Write it down. Who do you want to be? Who do you know you are? All right. Don't say, I want to be that. You are that, Gemini. You are. So if you got something out of this, let me know. I would love to hear. Make sure that you give this a like and a follow. And my information is in the description box below if you would like another visit with me about how this might be affecting you most personally, Gemini. Have a magical full moon in Aquarius. All right, Cancer. How are you doing with these benefic planets in your sign, Venus and Jupiter? They are definitely spicing things up, and you might have some tension as these new things are coming into your scope in order to have these opportunities to take advantage of. So whenever Jupiter went into your sign, lucky Jupiter, it met a square, which is a not so fun aspect to Saturn. And so because of that challenge, then it didn't really feel like, oh, I'm getting all this luck and abundance and some things are falling away, or I've had some tension moments, but it has given you an opportunity, I feel, to stand, speak your mind, and just let things go, right? Say what you need to say, do what you need to do in order to make yourself feel better, let it go, and here we are. You are experiencing this full moon in the 8th house. So there could be a detoxification going on, because the 8th house is about detox. It is about our addictions as well, and going deep beneath the surface in order to have the rebirth. So it probably would be good to be working in like-minded community. This weekend, you could be giving an up-leveling about being able to release what no longer serves. And it helps when we do that in community versus doing it by ourselves. However, if you feel like you need to detach, because Aquarius is detachment, in order to figure out what it is that I want to value next, um, you might need to do that. But maybe listening to others and getting a little help from your friends, because especially if it's a friend that you have known for a very long time, they definitely could be helping you at this time. Okay. So if you are having some issues regarding maybe the home, our mindset, our career, or even your belief systems, reach out possibly to a spiritual friend in order to help you during this time. Being in nature is going to be very beneficial to you, because it could possibly help you deal with some of these emotions that you are going through if there's been some challenges. And transformation, okay, doesn't have to feel like a dumpster fire, okay? It can be fun. We can make art. We can have conversations with people that are healing. We can be outside in nature. We can do something with that energy. So do something with the energy. Write down what you want to let go and burn it, because you could be having a lot of themes about letting go around career, home, what you're learning, and also the community. So there's an opportunity for you to learn something new or do something different in order to help you transform so that you can get some of this abundance. Then I would be doing that. All right. Let me know if you got something out of this, Cancer. Please like this video and comment below how this astrological transit has been affecting you so far with Jupiter in your sign. But you are being blessed by the universe at this time to make the changes that you need to. All right. And let go of things that don't serve, whether it's an addiction, a friendship, a relationship of some kind, even the relationship that we have with ourselves, and maybe possible technology addiction. All right. Thanks so much, Cancer. If you would like a more personalized reading, please hit me up in the description box below. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Leo, how are you doing? You are having this full moon in the house of relationships, the 7th house. So this is a great time for you to be mingling with like-minded community, or letting go of possibly how you showed up in relationships before. Leos, we can be very self-centered, and all about me. I'm the queen, I'm the king. What am I doing for my ego in order to get these accolades? And this is how I get relationships. There could be a letting go of, I'm not this person anymore, so I'm stepping into new community as a different person. And how am I going to be received? And so you could be in like-minded community in order to help you discover that. Or I'm going to try this thing out after I've worked on myself a little bit. Having fun this weekend. Releasing ceremonies with others would be really good for you. Leo is the self, and this 7th house over here is Libra, and that is about others. And so this is where you are having this and being able to be creative. 17 degrees is a Leo degree. 17 degrees is our creativity, childlike fun. So I'm having childlike fun as a Leo rising. All right. So again, I told you, make sure that you're listening for your rising sign. And astrology doesn't lie. And if you start working with some of these transits, life just gets more magical. I could have chose to stay at home this weekend with school starting on Monday, but no, I decided I was going to go out and be in nature and have a good time, because guess what? I'm going to be in front of technology for a while after this weekend. And so I need a break. I need to recharge my batteries with others, recharge my batteries by being outside in nature. It's a great time to call in more like-minded community. If you need friendships that are weird and unusual and it will love and accept you for who you are, this is a magical time to be working with that energy. It's a good time also for self-care and having good boundaries in relationships and having good balance. So am I having too much fun when I go out, or am I in balance and I'm actually able to enjoy being out and not trying to hide in my little cocoon, or going out to something that doesn't serve you anymore. Like for me, I don't enjoy going to the nightclubs anymore. I do it sometimes because I feel like, well, this is what I used to do, so this is what makes me happy, and this is what I need to do now. No, this is not what you need to do now. What you need to do now is focus on my creative gifts, okay, and being able to share that in like-minded community. And the club can look different. It doesn't have to look like the nightclub. It can look like the woods club, right? All right, Leo. Let me know if you get something out of this. If you did, make sure that you like it. Leave a comment below about maybe what you're doing this weekend in order to be in like-minded community. And I think I already said, if you would like a more personalized reading, hit me up in the description box below. Share this video with other Leos if you got something out of it. Thanks so much. Hey, Virgo, you are having this full moon in the 6th house. Well, you rule the 6th house. And so you should kind of know what this is going to feel like. However, there could be some shocks and surprises, or a release of routine, a change in your habits, a work routine may be changing. So it is a good time this weekend maybe to try to do something different in your routines. See if it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, well, you didn't lose anything. We tried, right? This could be a good time for you to detox any habits that you have. Are we spending too much time on our phone? Are we spending too much time behind the screens and technology? It's a good time for us to get out so that we aren't illusioned by things which are not real, being too much on the phone. What is real, right? Real is our health. How can we bring a new holistic practice, because Virgo is holistic health, into our life? So we have to kind of maybe let go of a habit so we can bring in another habit. You could be possibly having some sleep irregularities, maybe sleeping too much, waking up in the middle of the night, not sleeping but small periods at a time. And if that is you, just do the best that you can. And I would say that the astrological remedy is to be outside, because there's a lot of electricity going on, and a way to balance that energy is to magnetize yourself by being outside. Think about how your pet goes. It gets so excited to be outside because it wants to recharge itself, right? By being outside on the ground and being in the sun. You could be experiencing some dreams right now. So make sure that you are writing those down if that resonates. And making time in our routines for our hopes and our wishes and our dreams. Make time for that. We can't have this new thing over here that we want, Virgo, if we're not making time for it. And, you know, health is wealth. And Virgo, you are having a lot of themes around health for the last 6 months and for the next year. And we can see that also in the collective as people are stepping away from the 12th house of illusory things that they thought were making them feel better in the medical system, and stepping into more holistic type treatments. All right, Virgo, if you got anything out of this, let me know. The other thing I would say to you is there could be some challenges around what you value. So making sure that we let that old identity go, okay? Old identity go, so that we can have the new thing that we want. All right, Virgo, if you got something out of this, make sure that you like this video, comment below if this resonates and what you're going to be doing this weekend. If you would like a more personalized reading, please hit me up in the description box below for an astrological appointment. Thanks so much, Virgo. Next up, we have Libra. So Libra, you are having this full moon in your 5th house of creativity, having fun, children, creative expression, bravery, entertainment. So there could be a letting go of ways that you possibly used to entertain yourself, and a stepping into a new way of how I want to entertain myself. So if you used to entertain yourself maybe by drinking, what are we entertaining ourselves now? Are you doing artwork? Are you, working on a business, a side hustle that you want to get into? There could be a detachment of how you used to show up in relationships, because this is opposing this moon right here. And this is about service to humanity and we the people. So detaching from how you used to show up in relationships to how am I showing up now in relationships. It's not let me do this thing in order to get a pat on the back. It's am I having fun with what I'm doing? Do I like where I work? Do I like what I'm doing in order to give back to humanity with my gifts and talents? If you're not, we need to make time for that. Okay. So how are we going to do that? This will be a good time this weekend for you to enjoy music. Maybe sound healing would be good, because Libra is sound to me, create, and along with Pisces, singing. Libras are very talented. They can do a lot of different things. They might be able to be good with art. They might be a good musician. They might be a good designer. They can do a lot of different things. And by doing all these creative gifts, it helps them be in balance in their body. This could be an opportunity this weekend for you to emerge as your new self out in a like-minded community. So if you have maybe been stagnant with staying away from people, I don't want to see anybody, I'm still healing myself, or this happened to me, let's get out, let's be in like-minded community and get that upliftment that we are looking for. And I think it would be a good time for you to also maybe have some leadership opportunities perhaps in relationships, especially if maybe we have been the balancer too much, Libra, because that's what we do. And by balancing, we don't do what we want to do because we want everybody else to be happy, but sometimes that makes us not happy. So making sure that you make time for the things that make you happy. And this weekend, you possibly could meet a romantic partner, or maybe business-like people that could help you do what you want to do next, or things that make you feel good. All right, if you got something out of this, Libra, please like this video and comment below if this resonates. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please hit me up in the description box below. Thanks so much. Sorry, I keep coughing. Sometimes when I'm speaking like this early in the morning, I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to have conversations with people. And I usually do these videos at night or in the afternoon. But like I said, I'm pre-recording this, so excuse the coughing. Scorpio, you are having this full moon in your 4th house of home. So there could be a letting go of a home, a letting go of foundational things, maybe things that made you feel stable at home. This is also a good opportunity for you, even though we're letting that go, we got to balance the energy. We got to have fun in the home. Fun in the home with other people, because Aquarius is others, is the collective, our friendships. So you could be calling in more like-minded people, or people that are maybe weird and unusual that you can have fun in. You do have an opposition here to your career house. So you are getting kind of a little reminder, Scorpio, do I have balance between home and work? And if not, what can I do in order to make that happen? Is work emotionally satisfying to you? Are you balanced, or are we working too much, or are we not working enough? Because maybe we don't like our job, right? So how can we maybe bring more fun into work? How can we bring more like-minded people into our work setting or into our home. And sometimes these people, they may have different ideas than us, because Scorpio is a fixed sign, so it doesn't like to change. But sometimes hearing new information or trying something new in the home or at work is going to help us. Okay, so how do you want that to look? I would definitely say being actionary, or who do you want to be next in your work habits, your health habits, your day-to-day. There could be some letting go or some realizations about, you know what, why did I do that habit? Why did I feel like I needed that in my day every day? You don't, whether it's the phone or a person or doing something with our routines that is actionary can help you balance this energy a lot. Whether it's and standing up for yourself, doing exercise would be something also that could help you at this time deal with some of these transits going on, because it's going to give you the clarity that you need when you are active in your body, when you are in the sun, when you are grounding your feet or touching a crystal. That can help ground your energy so you can get the clarity that you need and wipe away any of these illusions that you have that maybe I need to do this thing in my home or in my work. That no, you don't. Okay, we want to be happy at home and at work. So how can we be more happy, more balanced, and emotionally satisfied? All right, you got something out of this, Scorpio? Please leave a comment below, like this video, and share it with somebody that you think could benefit. All right, Scorpio, happy full moon in your sign. And remember, being creative is the opposite of depression. So if you're feeling kind of, all right, how can we be more creative? All right, thanks, Scorpio. Sagittarius, you are having this in a air sign of the third house, and the third house is community, short distance travel, our siblings, thinking, speaking, writing, journaling, cars, gadgets. This is where you are having. It could also be a letting go of your mindset and your beliefs. Why do you believe what you believe? I said this also to I want to say the Geminis as well, because you and Gemini, even though you're opposite signs, both of you control your mind and your beliefs. So Sagittarius is like higher beliefs, and Gemini is more of our childlike beliefs or early education, teenagers, learning like that. So let's go back to that. Let's create something, because 17 degrees is a creation degree. Creating something that is going to help us emotionally. So creating a mantra that could help rewire subconscious behaviors. Because we are our worst critics sometimes, right? And this isn't just Sagittarius. This goes for all of us, right? So how can we be the leaders, Sagittarius? Because we're about teaching and learning and spirituality, but we're not going to be able to lead anybody if we've still got yucky stuff that we got to let go, right? Or how are we showing up? Are we being authentic in what we say to people? Are we doing what we tell people to do behind the scenes, right? Hopefully we are. This could be an emotionally good time for you to have conversations with siblings that could be healing. Maybe a letting go of a sibling. How we use our mind to help others spiritually. Just think about that question for a minute. Sagittarius is the most spiritual sign. It also the very creative sign. It's entertainment, kind of like what Leo is, but it gets entertainment from traveling and having expansive type experiences so it can grow in its mind, right? That's college. Or it doesn't have to be college. It can be I got a workshop, or I met this person who has helped me on my spiritual path. You could be in a like-minded event this weekend, which will be very good for you, because even though you are the spiritual teacher, sometimes we need a spiritual teacher, right? So this can help you become more emotionally satisfied in the community, because maybe this thing that you are learning over the weekend or in a like-minded community, because learning doesn't always have to be, well, I have to pay for this degree or this workshop. Learning can be clarity around a conversation. Okay. So it doesn't have to look like that. So don't be fixed in your beliefs that it has to be a certain way. Be open-minded. Writing things down is good. Journaling your emotions could be good for you at this time if that resonates, or just speaking to people about philosophical issues that are important to you. That could be very healing for you, or give you some of these aha moments and be like, yes, that's it. Okay. Because you could be meeting people this weekend or around this time that could help you be more actionary, or have a little bit more fire in what you want to create next, so that you can serve humanity differently. Okay. So just spend some time with others, I would say, in order to kind of get those aha moments. If you feel like you need to detach. I'm not telling you what to do. Everybody loves a Sagittarius, though. They're the partiers. They like to have fun. Okay. And they like to go and travel. So traveling somewhere and burning what no longer serves and calling in what you want would be very, very beneficial to you, Sagittarius. And you're open-minded. So let's not be closed-minded about maybe doing something different that can help us learn some new philosophical things, because that's what we like to do. All right. If you got something out of the Sagittarius, make sure that you like this video. Comment below what you're going to be doing this weekend to celebrate the full moon in Aquarius. And if you would like a personalized reading, please reach out to me in the description box below. I would love to help you figure out the magic of your birth chart, Sag. Thanks so much. All right, Capricorn. Whoops. Let's see what's going on here. Had to refresh my browser and then it popped up. Mercury in retrograde loves to have a fun time with me. So thank you for your patience. We can tell it with my speaking. We can tell it with going on the computer. All right. So we are letting go of what we no longer value. Or there's a change in what we value. So the second house is what we value, abundance, things that make us feel stable, right? Taurus is stable, comfort in our bodies, and relaxation. What makes you feel good in your body? Is it music? Is it food? Is it dancing? Like, what makes you feel good? You want to be doing that, okay? And so maybe there's been a change of what we don't feel good in our body, and we don't need to keep doing that thing if it doesn't make us feel good, okay? But it could be a good time that maybe we value friendships. And maybe these friendships that we value are new, or we're going to do something new. But these friendships also could help you maybe transform what you're going through. And maybe something that you're going through, something that we value is money, folks. So how can we increase our income? How can we increase the hidden money? Things coming to you possibly in downloads could happen by being in nature. It also could help you calm your mind. Working with plants could help you do that, because it gives you something to focus your energy on. Remember, there's a lot of fire and air going on at the moment. So there could be a lot of quick changes or a lot of mental instability right now. So we need to make sure that we're grounding ourselves so we don't get caught up in that energy and we don't know where to focus, okay? There could be some business partners stepping out and other ones stepping forward. You're getting a new start this year, okay? You are getting a new start this year. Let me move this around. You're getting a new start this year, because think about it. You've had Pluto, the most outer planet, in your sign for the last, what, 15, 16 years. So it has been difficult. And so now with Pluto in another sign, then you get to have that rebirth, right? So what do you want? What does your life look like now? What do you value after the last astrological transits that were pretty benefic, because they changed you. They changed who you were. They changed what you valued. And so you are trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I value now? Maybe I lost my job. Okay. What do I want to do now that makes me more happy, where I'm living from my heart? I'm not living from my ego. I'm not sabotaging myself with addictive behaviors. And I'm not being escaping maybe into technology or video games or the phone. I'm actually spending time maybe with myself, and I'm understanding like why maybe I do some of the things that I do. So you have some tension points right here around career, home, learning, and community. With the South Node here kind of closing out some old beliefs, and the North Node bringing in more mental stability. But let's have some clarity around that, okay? Because Pisces is the screens, Pisces is illusions. So we don't want to be illusioned by people that are coming into our life that we don't need. And we don't want to be illusioned by things that are going on the phone or technology or on the outside world. Let's not focus there. Let's focus on us. Let's focus on our healing. Let's focus on our journey. Let's focus on how I can be more stable in my home after it's had a lot of shocks and surprises. Okay. So whatever that means to you, whether it's, getting in a community with maybe a new home that you've purchased, stepping out so that you can have fun with whatever it is that you value now. Okay. All right, Capricorn, if you got something out of this, let me know. I would love to hear. Please like this video and share it if you got something out of it, and comment below how you are going to be spending this full moon in Aquarius this weekend. And if you would like a personalized reading, please hit me up in the description box below. Thanks so much, Capricorn. All right, Aquarius, this is your full moon, your annual full moon. And this full moon is happening in your first house of identity. So there could be a letting go of an old identity, or a stepping into more of that which you are now, which is the fun Aquarius. Okay, the one who loves themselves and is weird and unusual and doesn't care. Very, brave. There could be an opportunity for you to have fun in relationships this weekend. So Aquarius can detach. So Aquarius doesn't always want to be in service to others. Sometimes Aquarius wants to detach from others, but let's try to be in relationship this weekend. Let's do something fun with other people, because the sun is opposing you in the house of having fun in relationships. You could possibly have a release ceremony with others. And this could be around how you want to be seen by others. Maybe this is an opportunity in this release ceremony about how to show up differently. So if you are wanting to bring in new relationships into your life, we can't do that if we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. I was told this to another sign. If you want to meet new friendships, but you still go to the same places, we're not going to meet those new friends. Let's go to a like-minded event to meet people. That would be a great way to be using this astrological transit right now. If that doesn't resonate, this could be a good time for you to be creative. Aquarius likes to, I think, deeply think about things before making a decision. So this will be a good time for you to possibly think deeply right now. Have you had a rebirth experience that maybe you want to share who you are now with other people? Or maybe you're going through something that's difficult right now. And if you are, this will be a good time to work with others, because We don't always have to keep everything in our mind. Sometimes it's nice to speak our truth to others, and we could get some clarity from that. Make time to get outside in the sunshine. Magnetize your energy, okay, by standing in the ground and getting some of the sun. You are an air sign, so you work well with other fire signs. So try to make time to spend time with maybe fiery type people, or you be the fiery type person. If you got something out of this, Aquarius, let me know. The other thing I would say, there could be some challenges here, maybe with conversations with others about what I want and what you want me to do. So just be mindful about how we share that. Okay. All right. If you got something out of this, again, make sure that you like this video and share it, and that you hit me up in the description box below if you would like a more personalized reading. Thanks so much. And last but not least, we have our Pisces. And Pisces, you are having this in your 12th house. You, like the Virgos, okay, the Virgos are having it in their 6th house, and you are having it in the 12th house, which you rule. Pisces rules endings. Pisces rules illusions, being behind the scenes, doing things illusory, or it controls movies as well. That's what I mean by illusory, things that just aren't real. It also controls our sleep. So you possibly could be having some sleep issues. It didn't write that on there, but the Virgos and the Pisces probably could be having sleep issues where you're more tired, or maybe you aren't able to sleep. So making sure that you are doing good routines before bed and not spending a bunch of time on the phone or spending a bunch of time in front of the television, because this could cause us to not have good sleep habits. Okay. Letting go of subconscious patterns is the theme for you during this full moon. And this could be related to your habits, your day-to-day, and your routines. Are we self-sacrificing ourselves for others when we need to be focusing on ourselves? And how do you treat yourself with love? You know, are we treating ourselves with love by checking out and watching television and watching movies? Or are we checking out by maybe being an escapism of any kind? Okay. So we don't want to be escaping. We want to be handling our emotions, whatever that means. It could mean that maybe I need to go walk on the beach, or maybe I need to go spend time in the water in order to kind of let some of these emotions go. Or maybe I need to get more sleep. Pay attention to your dreams. Journaling before bed is a great astrological remedy, because that is a positive habit. Because you're thinking that's something that's doing something creative before bed would be good. And how are we doing that? Or journaling when we wake up in the middle of the night, we want to write down our dream, because maybe that's given us information about a habit that we need to change, or a habit that maybe we need to replace. What does your morning routine look like? How maybe do we want to add something that's going to be a little bit more fun? Changes to our routine don't have to be yuck, okay? They can be fun. So let's have fun with our routine. We don't have to say, well, at this time I do this, and at this time I do this. Let's spice it up. Maybe add something new in the morning. Like I'm going to start doing this for my breakfast in the morning, so that way I have more energy for the day. Or I'm going to start doing this journaling before I go to bed, so that I'm not watching television. Okay. Making something fun or a creative project before we go to bed would be a better use of our time versus watching television or being on the phone. Remember, Pisces and Virgo both can have mental instabilities. Okay. The opposite of depression in those mental instabilities is creation. What can you create to deal with the depression? There could be an ending of something that was a part of your routine, your day-to-day, that could be ending. All right. Or standing up to somebody and speaking your truth about, I don't want this anymore in my day-to-day. There could be illusory hidden truths revealed. So maybe there might be somebody coming to the surface that's been hidden below, that maybe they were a hidden enemy, but now it's like, oh, they really are not good for me. And I thought this person cared. Okay. So those are the themes that I see for you Pisces for this full moon. So the best way to deal with it is to let's be outside, get some sunshine, hear some wind, music, creating something. You are one of the most creative signs, Pisces. Let's use our gifts. Let's not let somebody else use our gifts. What are you giving your energy to? Whatever you give your energy to is going to expand. Okay. And you are having expansion right here with Jupiter and Venus giving you opportunities to do the things that you love and to spend time with the home and to spend time with children. So if that's what makes you happy, then we need to do that this weekend. All right. If you got something out of this, Pisces, make sure that you like this video and comment below about what you are doing this weekend. And I hope that you got something out of it. And if you did or want a more personalized reading, please hit me up in the description box below. All right. In order to book an appointment, hit me up in the description box below, and I will see you next full moon, next new moon, rather, that we are going to be having. And I would love to see how that is going to be working out for you as well. So whatever you do this weekend, have fun. And remember to write down what no longer serves, maybe possibly burn that, and speak into existence what you would like to bring in, and calling in more like-minded community. All right, if you got something out of this, make sure that you like this video, share it with your favorite astrological sign, maybe your fellow sign, or hit me up in the description box below for a personalized appointment. Thanks so much, everybody. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Bye-bye.